Hi guys, Victoria here. Welcome back to my channel. Today is the 1st of December, so the last month of 2022 just kicked in. It's around 2 p.m. and the sun is already going down, so this is how I know that it's December in Europe. It's quite depressing, but Christmas is coming, so the jolly season is around the corner and hopefully the mood is gonna rise from here. Because November for me is always the most depressing month, and this year it was particularly challenging. So I'm happy to put that behind me and start a new month, which is the last month of 2022, and prepare myself for the next year with positive vibes. So guys, as I was telling you in the last check-in of the October month, that month was the lowest spending month in 2022 for me, and November, however, was quite a high spending month overall, so we will get into details on why some of it are business related expenses, but we'll discuss that throughout this video, what I spend money on and how much. However, to be completely fair, within the categories where I am doing this no buy or low buy year, I have kept myself within the budget, or where I'm doing the no buy, there I have kept myself to the no buy. So my spending was outside of these 8 categories in which I'm doing this challenge. But there is only 1 month left from the challenge, from the strict budget and from the no buy of certain categories. So let's see how we are doing in these categories. The first category, as always, is groceries. The groceries category in the month of November was quite a low spend month in the grocery category actually. I think it was the second lowest spending month in the year, outside of the 1 month when I was traveling and didn't really spend much on groceries in June, if you remember that. Outside of that, every other month I was spending more than this month of November, and this month I spent 169 euros and 13 euro cents. How did I achieve this spending? Well, I was trying to meal plan with the things that I already had at home and not buy anything unnecessary, avoid food waste 100%, and I lowered my fruit consumption a little bit, although that's something that I don't want to, but it's winter and the fruit selection is not as good as in the summer, of course, so it's just natural that the fruit consumption gets lower. And yeah, no alcohol was consumed. I mean, consumed, yes. I did consume alcohol. No alcohol was purchased in a supermarket this month, so like bottles of alcohol. I don't think I have spent money on alcohol this month, other than a bottle which was a present, and now I just realized that I did not put that into the gift category. And I probably put that under groceries. Interesting. I bought a bottle of wine and a box of chocolate when I was visiting a friend of mine, and I think it's under the grocery budget, although it should be under the gift category. I'm saying this because I see that in the gift category I put that I did not spend anything. So I made a little bit of a mistake in the accounting this month, but overall it doesn't really change the results and the fact that I'm below the grocery budget, and I'm definitely also below the gift budget, but let's talk about that in a second. So overall in the year of 2022 so far, out of the 2,100 euros that was budgeted in total for this year for groceries, I have spent 2,036.87 euros. So I'm definitely well below the budget, but Christmas is coming and the holiday season is coming, and usually the grocery budget goes up in this season. However, I'm going to spend Christmas with my family at home, so I'm not gonna be the only one contributing to the Christmas meal budget. So I might still be able to be below 200 euros overall in this category in the month of December. Next category is gifts. As I mentioned, I either completely missed that one purchase when I was buying the wine and the chocolate bonbons for my friend as a gift to add it in my expenses, or I added it under groceries because I purchased it in a supermarket along with other groceries. So I will have to double check that, but that was around 15 euros. That chocolate and the wine, probably a little bit less because I was using some minus 25% coupons in Billa, you know, the stickers that you can put on things, because the wine that I got was over 10 euros, which is, for white wine, I mean, it's quite pricey, at least in my standard, which I'm coming from Hungary, and in Hungary there is very good white wine for cheap, so for around like 5 euros you can get very good white wine in Hungary. Anyway, I didn't include that, so I wrote down for myself that I spent 0 euros and the budget is 30, but even if I spend 15 euros and the budget is 30, I'm still below the budget. And I spent, out of the 330 euros that I have budgeted throughout the 11 months in 2022 that have already passed, I spent an overall 222.78 euros, or if we add that 15 euros to this, then it was 237.78. So it's definitely way below what I have budgeted. And in December there will be a few purchases, gift purchases, which are not Christmas related, so they will go from this budget. So we'll see at the end of the year, but I think we will be still way below the full budget. And as I mentioned, the Christmas gifts are not included. First of all, for this year, we have agreed with a few friends of mine and my family with whom we usually give presents to each other. We agreed that we are not going to purchase any presents to each other this year, but we will instead spend that amount of money that we were to spend on them. We can spend it on ourselves and buy presents for ourselves, or buy anything that we want or need for ourselves. Or if someone is in not a good financial situation and they don't want to spend anything, then they have the chance to not get anything, because they don't have to get anything for me. And if they don't want, they also don't need to get anything for themselves, right? So that's what we agreed with a few people, but there are of course still some family members for whom I will have to purchase gifts, and I already did purchase a few things for Christmas, and these are mostly for kids. 2 of my cousins have 2 kids each, so that's 4 kids, and of course for the kids I'm going to purchase gifts, because otherwise, I mean, you cannot really tell little kids like, sorry, there's no present this year. So they will receive presents for sure. So my Christmas budget will go to that, as well as to a few purchases for myself as well. Just for a few other family members and friends with whom I don't have this agreement of not purchasing gifts for each other. But yeah, that's the strategy for this year's Christmas. My Christmas budget is around 500 euros. It has been around that last year too. Last year I went way over at the end, because for my mom we ended up buying a laptop with my brother, but I paid the majority of the laptop, so more than my brother, and it was also her birthday gift, but that kind of unexpectedly pushed the budget over 500. This year I really want to be below, including all the real presents and all the purchases for myself. Alright, next category is clothing and accessories. This category was a no-buy for the full year of 2022. There were 2 exceptions to this, you all know it by now by heart. a bag and a gym bra that I purchased in January and February. These were on my list for a long while before the year started, so I was happy that I could find both early in the year and I didn't have to think about that later in the year. So ever since then, in this category, I have not spent any, but every month I put 50 euros in the virtual envelope, and I have so far around 500 euros that I have collected in this budget category, which I will start to spend from January onward. I have already a list of things that I would like to purchase for myself, so I will try to make sure to purchase ethically made, sustainable and long-lasting items, so this will take a little bit of research for sure. What I did this month as well is that I organized a clothes swap event, so the decluttered clothes that I had, I invited over some friends and they also brought their own decluttered clothing items, and we had the chance to try each other's clothes and swap around, and if anyone liked something they could just take it for free. So that was one event that I organized, and there was another one that we attended which was organized by someone else, which was an open public event where there were a lot of people attending. So 2 clothes swaps in November yielded me 5 new clothing items for free, and I sold a few things. I'm trying to sell things online, and I earned 30 euros with selling stuff. So that money that I'm earning with these sales, I can also spend it on clothing and accessory items next year. And I have now over 130 euros, maybe 140 overall from the sales from this year. Then next budget category is skincare and hygiene. In the skincare and hygiene category, I have been over budget for the last few months. This month I spent 14.85 euros from the 30 euro which was budgeted. But overall, I have spent 354 euros and 70 cents from the budgeted amount of only 330 euros. So I am 24 euros and 70 cents over my budget, which leaves me with 5 euros and 30 cents to spend in December on skincare and hygiene. So if I want to stay within the budget, I have to spend less than 5 euros. Good luck to me. I actually need to buy sunscreen, which is gonna cost me 17-18 euros. So I guess this budget category is busted, or I buy that from my Christmas budget as a Christmas gift to myself. Let's see. I will think about it. What I kind of forgot throughout the year to mention during these check-in videos is that one of the goals that I had set for myself for the skincare and hygiene category for this year was to not spend any money on period products, and not because I am pregnant or I was pregnant, but because I'm using reusable products like the Diva Cup and washable pads. And since I already had those for years now, I really wanted to try to avoid buying any disposable products, and I'm happy to report that until the end of November in 2020 I have not spent any money on period products. So I think I will be able to do this also in December, and then my plan or my challenge for myself will be complete, and I'm very happy about that. The 5th budget category is books and entertainment, or I should just call it entertainment. This includes theater, cinema, books, sports, sporting events, going out, stuff like that. And in this category, this month I spend the most. In November I spent the most out of all the months this year. I believe because I have spent 33 euros. I went swimming once, that's 7 euros. I went to a dance class, which was 13 euros. And I went to a party where the entry fee was 13 euros, so that's overall 33 exactly. So these are included in this category. My budget for this category is 5 euros. However, I had rollover money from last year, so I had 50 euros rolled over from 2021 in this category. So overall I'm still below the budget because I had rollover 50, I budgeted in the 11 months 55, that's 105 euros, and I spent 95 euros in this budget category throughout the year or until now in 2022. I always mention about my book situation, so I decluttered a lot of books actually. I was very surprised how many books I was able to declutter last month. You can watch my decluttering challenge video, it is already online and the books were part of the challenge. But I have a few new books that moved in, physical books. I got 2 books from these free bookshelves where people can go and take books from, one in German, one in English, I believe, yes. And I got 1 book as a present as well. That is a Hungarian book, so I have in all 3 languages in which I read books, I received 1 new book in my collection this month. And so I have not spent on books, physical books myself. And regarding Audible, this month I had to cancel my subscription. I had an annual subscription, which I paid for last year on end of November, early December. I don't know exactly on what day it was. And it was on sale. I think it was probably Cyber Week sale or Black Friday sale, something like that. I had my subscription for around 80, 90 euros. I don't remember exactly, but around that amount. So I got 12 credits for that early December last year. And I had some rollover credits from before, and then throughout the year I got new credits for some reason. At some point I think I got 1 or 2 credits throughout this year as well for free. So eventually I had way too many credits left over. So at the beginning of the month I received an email from them that I have 8 credits that will expire by the end of the month, by the end of my subscription. So apparently the credits with your annual subscription expire at the end of the year, which I didn't know before. With the monthly subscription, you can roll them over from 1 month to the other. So that was a surprise to me, but in any case, I wanted to use up my credits and actually cancel my subscription because I had so many books that I could purchase. So I had, I think, 9 or 10 credits at the beginning of the month. So I used them all up and found books for each credit. So I purchased around 10 books, and then a few days later suddenly they gave me 10 euros as a voucher, saying like, oh, you unlocked this voucher, go ahead and use it. And then they had a sale, and so I got 1 more book from that voucher for 6 or 7 euros. So I left in the bank like 3 or 4 euros, whatever. Yeah, I got a lot of audiobooks, I downloaded them all, and then I canceled my subscription because I probably have enough books now, audiobooks on my phone, which will last me for the next year almost, if not for the year, but at least half a year, probably a year. I mean, some of these books are long, and sometimes it takes me more than a month to finish a book when I'm listening to it, if it's a longer one. Yeah, so cancel my subscription. Have 3 new physical books. I finished reading 1 physical book this month, I think. Yeah, it was a Robin Cook book. It was actually this, the first one, the top one. That Robin Cook book I was reading in Hungarian. I didn't like it as much as the other Robin Cook books that I read, but towards the end it got more exciting. But now I started to read something in German, so this will take me longer probably. And I don't think I finished any audiobooks this month, but it might be because I'm listening to 2 books parallel, so it takes longer time to finish them. Yeah, I spoke a lot about this category. I need coffee. Let's move on to the next category, which is technology, in which I had a no buy in 2022. I was not supposed to buy any technology items, but unfortunately because some things broke on me throughout the year. I had to purchase 2 new items. One was a new phone and the other one was a new epilator, and I was thinking of buying the new computer / laptop this year as well. For tax purposes, I was thinking that it might make sense to buy it this year, but then I was calculating and it seems that it's probably gonna be better for me if I purchase the new laptop early next year, so I'm gonna wait until then. Then I can also kind of budget for it and kind of put some money away every month and have enough collected by the time I'm ready to purchase. So it's not gonna happen. So basically, since August I did not purchase any technology items, and it's gonna stay like that this year probably. Unless something breaks again on me, but I really hope not. Next category, supplies, so household items, basically kitchen utensils, cleaning items, stuff like that. In this category I spent €3.99. I got myself a Christmas / winter themed doormat. I didn't have a doormat at all, and this was on sale, or this was available in Lidl, and it has a little reindeer on it, and I thought, oh, this is very cute, let's buy it. It's only €3.99. So that's dangerous with Lidl, because Lidl and Hofer or Aldi, they sell these household items which are quite cheap and sometimes also very cute. It's hard to say no to that, but I justified this purchase for myself. I could also actually put these €3.99 into the Christmas budget, but let's leave it in the household category or supplies category, because that was the only thing that I purchased in this category this month, which means that I basically caught up on myself. In this category I was over the budget for a long time, since March or April. But now I caught up on myself because I spent €220 and 14 euro cents out of the €220 which was budgeted, which means I'm only 14 euro cents over my budget, which I will definitely be able to catch up on in December. I think the only thing I already know that I need to buy is salt for my dishwasher. That's it. I don't think I will need anything else. Anyway, in 1 week I will leave Vienna, and I probably won't be back until the end of the month, so I won't need to buy household items. And the last category is furniture, in which I have a no-buy, and in this month I was very much contemplating, not even contemplating, but I was actually actively looking for things in this category. I just couldn't find the right one, so I didn't spend anything. I was willing to sacrifice the no-spend to buy at least one thing, which would be a little table or a little holder for one of my plants, which is now on the floor, and I want to lift it up. And actually I want to move it on this side of this shelf, but yeah, well, I didn't find the right thing to put it on for now, so this is something that may or may not happen in December or next year, we'll see. Anyway, which means that I have been collecting these 50 euros in this category with the no-buy, and so far I have around 550 euros collected. So that's still not enough for the bookshelves that I want probably, so I will need to collect more. Especially if I am in between going to spend on a few little items. That was my last category, in which I am having a low buy / no buy this year. And what I always also mention at the end of the month, or yeah, at the end of my videos, is what did I actually spend my money on, or what was it that I spent rather than these physical items. The money that I saved, what do I spend it on? And as I mentioned, I prefer, or my goal is to spend it on experiences. That's one thing, but at the same time I'm also saving up as much as possible, because eventually I would like to buy an apartment. So that's a long-term goal. I will have to figure out maybe next year what are my chances for a mortgage and stuff like that, but yeah, so I'm trying to really save up as much as possible for that reason. But what I do spend, I try to spend on experiences. So this month I spent particularly a lot on going out, eating out, meeting with friends, and grabbing a drink, going to the Christmas market. I went to the Christmas market in November 5 times. Yeah, I think I've been already 5 times to the Christmas market. So that's every time 1 or 2 drinks. One drink is around 5-6 euros. It's quite pricey, like a mulled wine or punch. And yeah, just going out, eating out. I spent, I think this year, the most amount I spent here in November, outside of the time when we were traveling in Italy, when we had all our meals out. Then probably we spent more overall in July. Probably I spent more for eating out, but this month definitely it was a quite like above average spending in that category. Then I booked accommodation for a weekend getaway. I'm going next weekend to Zagreb, so I booked accommodation for that. And yeah, quite a big bunch of money went to business expenses, because I had to pay my health insurance and and accounting. Yes, I had to pay for accounting. And then I also put some money into my retirement savings this month, so that was another bigger amount. Every year I put a bigger sum into retirement savings. So yeah, those were the bigger expenses this month, and that's how this month became one of the highest spending months in the year for me. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for listening to all these details about my budget and how is my low buy year going. Let me know in the comments down below if you're considering to do something similar next year, or just have a strict budget in certain categories where you may need to spend less because you tend to overspend. For example, clothing, but it also could be groceries, because not only because of inflation, but because you don't buy mindfully without a list, and then you waste maybe a lot of money because a lot of the food expires before you can use it, for example. Or if you have a very extensive skincare and makeup collection, then you probably could try to do a no-buy for makeup and skincare. Or if you buy a lot of books and read a lot of books, maybe you can try what I'm doing to only get and read 3 books and not buy any new books for a year. I was in the bookstore today. Oof, so many beautiful books. I could have bought so many books there. Yeah, wow. I haven't been to a proper bookstore, I think, in a while, and I was like, oh wow, I want to buy all these books. I mean, some of those books that I saw, I actually have them on Audible, or I could have bought them on Audible with my credits, but I didn't because I chose something else. So they are actually not that interesting, maybe, based on the reviews as well, which I read on Audible. Anyway, let's finish this video up for today. Thank you for tagging along. I'm looking forward to the last episode of this no-buy coming up in the beginning of January 2023. Until then, happy Advent time and preparations for Christmas, and I hope to see you at my next video. Goodbye.